we are becoming hypersensitive, hyper aware of our own selves. We are becoming narcissistic, would be the word. But in fact, it's a hyper awareness of our own creative ability, of our own creative response ability, of the power of every word we say, and the power of every word to impact our biology and to impact the biology of another. Because the truth is, what we do to one, we do to all. The truth is, all life breathes together. In this journey of becoming aware of the power we have within us, an aspect of narcissism is that it has brought us to a place of believing what Buddha would call the illusion that everything we do is significant, everything we say is significant, every opinion we have needs to be heard and processed. To some extent, it does, but not because we're significant. It's that the power of these opinions, it's that we need to become aware that every word has so much power that we need to become strong enough, mindful enough, empowered enough to manage ourselves like a spiritual art form, to move through the dark side of narcissism, where we embrace the shadow side of our inner self, our sense that we're so important, that we think we're the center of the universe, that we really think our opinions matter, which is the Buddhist illusion. They matter because they have creative power, not because we are significant. They matter because every word I say really has the power to hurt a human being. It's not because I'm so important. How do I say this? You get yourself in trouble because of the shadow side of the narcissist, because you do believe you might be the center of the universe, because you take things seriously. This is the dark side of narcissism, that when you think you are the center of the universe, you think that you are entitled. And here's a word that's going to get you in trouble. These are the words that will get you in trouble. Pay attention. Blame, deserve, entitled. Those three words will absolutely become the source of your greatest suffering in life. That you are entitled to things, that you deserve things, and that you've decided who's responsible for why you are not happy or things are not working out in your life. As I have said to people, I tell you what I want you to do. There's two things I want you to do. One, I want you to plan your own funeral. And I want you to think, who is really going to change their life to attend your funeral? And that shows you how important you really are. Who is really going to mourn your passing? And whose life is really going to be so incredibly dented in its organization because you've left the planet? And you'll come down to the fact that very few people are going to skip a beat because you're no longer here. And that should position you in terms of humbling up. And number two, I want you to do a list of everything you think you absolutely have to be happy. And what you absolutely have to need. After doing workshops all these years now, I have received these requests from people. I must have this diet. I must have this kind of room. I must have this. I can't eat that. I must do this. I must have that. Must is a very dangerous word. Add that word to your list. What you absolutely must have in order for you to be, I must have my quiet time. I must have this and I must have that. Must is the way a narcissist speaks. You must, the only thing you must have is food, air, water, and shelter and clothing. That's what you must have. Everything else is optional. Everything else is by choice. Now, when you get your list done, like, I cannot be spoken to in this tone of voice. I can only be spoken to in that tone of voice. I must have respect. As I say to people in my workshops, from whom? Everybody? Does everybody know that? Put together your list of what you think you absolutely have to have in order for you to sustain your well-being. And I really want you to think about that. I must win. If you have to win, put that down. I must have the last word. I must. Get your must list down. I must get even because that's who I am. If you're a vengeful person, put it down. I must always be right. If that's how you are, I must. I must have control. Put it down. This is your narcissist list. And then what I want you to do, because this is what I do in workshops. I then tell people to go find someone they haven't met yet and hand them their list and say, in order for you to have a relationship with me, this is the list of what you need to know that I must have in order for you to be a friend of mine. And after they read your must list, let's see if they want to be a friend of yours. And the likelihood is no, they don't want anything to do with you at all, because that's the world your narcissist has created. And let's see if you want to have anything to do with you. And then ask yourself why you created that. What is really essential for you? And you'll discover, if you're really, 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 really honest with yourself, that all of the musts you think you absolutely have to have are entitlements that are in response to you craving attention, to you craving this sense of needing recognition, all of which is part of that narcissistic stage of identity.